So what we do here is we do something called the biggest intro ever. So since you got so many accolades, we got to bless you with the biggest intro ever. We can't give you the baby intro. So you ready for all that?
I think so.
All right, cool. So here we go, man. He's worked with thousands of people, including, household names like Snoop Dogg and Waka. He's been featured on dozens of publications, including crazy write-ups in one of my favorite magazines, Hip Hop Weekly. And here's the part where it gets a little sticky. This is not stuff you can just, Google. You know what I mean? He has one of the dopest studios ever. As you can see right now, if you're looking at the Zoom, you're looking at us live right now. He's in his dope studio. You see the light, and you see that that's one of the chairs you can only get in like a law office. You know what I'm saying? But he's sitting in one right now. And not only that, he has one of the most popular studio pets in the world. The puppy. We saw the puppy. You know what I'm saying? So he's got that going on. He's the unofficial creator of the Sugar Baby hoodie. Go ahead and check it out right now. With over 3 million views on social media platforms, he's often uses his voice in his popularity to sound off on social injustices. And I think we have interviewed close to 1,000 artists and 1,000 American artists, but this is the second time an artist has been from Minnesota, and the first time he's an actual Native American. You've seen him on MTV concert stages from around the country. Now we welcome Andrew Thomas to live on the Reec Show. What's up, man?
Hey, man, just living the dream.
So that's your intro right there, man. Let's go ahead and get into this interview. You can sing. We hear some of your records, we hear songs. You get down into it, man. When did you realize you had this gift?
The singing came later. All started with playing piano at a young age, and then learning to produce, and then producing a lot of local artists, and then expanding outward from there. And then eventually I just wanted to do more sing-songy type records, and I didn't know any great singers to work with at the time. So it just kind of became, I kind of took it upon myself to create those records.
Okay. So you had a creative itch you needed scratching, and nobody had a back scratcher for you.
For a certain genre, yeah. I always, come home to hip hop. And
Yeah.
I still produce artists to this day.
Right. Right. What was the first time that you realized your production skills were that you could really make songs that other people want to get to? I know playing piano definitely helps. Some of the greatest producers of all time can play the key. You talking about like Dre, Zaytoven, guys like that. But you get down and get to it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know how producers can't play. That almost seems like more talent, because it's just like, how do you work around? It's like building a house without a hammer.
Right. I can definitely understand that. You definitely want to have a hammer, nail, screw gun, or something.
Yeah, it's just like you're missing. It feels like you're missing one of your most important tools.
So when did you realize you could sing though? Because that's a talent that I definitely don't have.
It takes a lot of practice. Later, probably in my like mid 20s. Is when I first. Well, I was like big in choir when I was young, so I always could kind of sing.
Okay.
And then it's just with enough production experience and enough practice, the confidence comes up, because it feels like when you sing, confidence has to be like the number one thing, because you have to like really project it out there.
Yeah, and you got to sell it, because the real R&B guys, they sell it.
Yeah, you gotta
make the faces. You make the R&B faces. Sing, man.
You gotta grab the air.
Yeah, exactly. You got or do the little rain move. That's my go-to move. I can't sing, but I got the rain move down pat.
Yeah, right.
Maybe the vocals will come later. Right now we're broadcasting live via satellite, aka Zoom. Right now we're in Atlanta Reec Studios, and shout out to all our affiliate stations. Of course, CMVA 107.5. Shout out to the game, my homie Potty Ali on Tuesdays, 104.9 in Indy, 88.7 Miami, 97.3 in Michigan. Check us out tonight from 7 to 9. We got Andrew Thomas right here, and we are talking about all things him and music and how he kind of got into it. Now, what was the first song that you produced that you heard it back and was like, okay, this is probably going to be a
hit? That's tough. When you're younger, it seems like you think you better than you are. So, I think when I was just, getting started, I was like, oh, I'm the best. I'm the best that's ever blessed, blessed people's ears. And then you listen back and you're like, oh God. But when I first started working with Minnesota Fats,
Mm,
I realized I was like, oh, I'm onto something.
okay, I
And
got
I,
it.
yeah, me and him did a CD called State Rehab, and then we re-released it called Perfect Candidate under when we signed to back then it was, I think it was Koch Records or Coke Records
Right, yeah, I remember.
before they became E1.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then we ended up doing a song with Jim Jones way back in the day called Rockstar
Yeah,
SH Word.
he was like one of the first hip hop artists over there when Dip said they started trying to do different business ventures. He went over there. So you guys had a song. I remember that song actually, because he was the
Yeah.
first big one wearing like the belt loops and stuff like that and
Yep.
change. Yeah. That's
Yeah, and that was quite the adventure too.
tell me about it. We can't just breeze past that.
Right.
So you guys were you in the studio live with Jim Jones during this time? This is like the height of
Yeah.
that situation. And tonight they got the versus battle. I know that's bringing back a little nostalgia for you.
Oh, that's tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight.
I
Dipset.
might have to check that out.
Yeah, man, 6 p.m. Make sure y'all check it out too. So producing like these big artists at those times, how was that for you? You know, you up and coming. Everybody has those dreams of, being with those artists that are on top, but you get to work with those guys.
Yeah. When it first starts happening, like this is my time, I'm gonna make it. And it's just like it was like a dream come true,
Mhm.
basically. And it feels like it's never really stopped feeling that way.
That's
It just an emotional roller coaster because you're like, oh, this is the one. And then it kind of like it does its thing. You're like, okay, I'll try again. And then it does a little bit better. You're like, oh, this is the one.
mm,
And then it, kind of like fizzles out and you just keep going.
mm.
But back then when we did that, we had a distribution since we got, this was back when they had CDs and
Yeah,
like, Sam Goodies
mm,
and FYEs. And
right.
I'm not sure, Virgin record stores and stuff like that.
I was on tour with FYE, so I remember those well. Well,
Yeah. They would do those in stores too.
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
exactly.
Records. Yeah, you guys did that too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we were hitting Billboard charts like every week doing in stores. Man, it was a beautiful time in the industry.
Oh, it'd be great because the fans would line up and then, you'd do the meet and greets and you'd sign the CDs.
Hmm. Yep. So we got to share some pictures on that later. Right now, we're Andrew Thomas live on the Reec Show. We're just kicking it and catching up on his. He has two lives. He's living like a double life. He's a producer and he's a dope artist. So dipping into the artistry, coming from behind, the keyboard and in front of the microphone. What was it the weirdest part or the best part of that transition for you?
Well, the first major milestone was one of the very first songs that I was singing on, was the one with Snoop Dogg.
Okay, so just come out the gates and hit a grand slam.
Basically, yeah, and again, it was just me and Minnesota Fats working really hard because I was like his main producer at that time, and then I was starting to get into like my singing thing, and
Yeah,
I was the dream at the time was like when I first started singing. He's
yeah,
one of the guys who really inspired me to just go for it because I just loved his sound.
yeah. Him and Neo kind of have a similar
Yeah.
situation where they're writing for everybody and like producing and being on the
Oh
back,
yeah.
and then you end up keeping your vocals on a record.
Yeah, and it ended up working out, And originally we were trying to replace my vocals,
Mm,
uh, and I was just going to be writer.
yeah,
And we had this guy named John Blue, I think, tried to jump on it, and it was cool,
yeah,
but we ended up just staying with mine,
right.
and that was just a huge, like to me, that it's still like a bucket list moment.
I mean, who wouldn't have Snoop Dogg on the buck? One of the greatest rappers of all time, one of the greatest artists of an era, and still is relevant to this day. That's
Yeah,
got to
absolute legend. I don't even think that's up for debate.
right. So your vocals end up sticking on a record with Snoop Dogg,
Mhm.
and then you're like, yeah, I can do this. I can go ahead. Let me go ahead and drop an album or 10.
Yeah, right.
That's what's up, man. So I know it's being on the production, you having the studio, the pandemic hits. What is artistry like for you during a pandemic with you working on both sides of the fence?
Oh geez, it's quite the roller coaster because last year I dropped a song called Sugar Baby. You
Yeah.
you alluded to it earlier.
Mhm.
Um and it started doing okay. They started playing it on the radio here locally,
Mhm.
and I was very excited. I was like, "Oh, I got one. I got one." Again, it's that same
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster, right? And it was starting to do really good, and I was like really excited. and it was hit like 700 some thousand views, which for me at the time was huge.
Yeah,
I was
let
like,
me hit the hype bell for that. That is huge. 700,000 views any day is huge. Right.
yeah, I was ecstatic about it. And then like they played it on the radio here for like 6 weeks, like straight up. I was like super excited. But then COVID hit and it shut everything down. I had shows booked. So I was like, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna start headlining. It's gonna start really working out for me.
Uh-huh.
And then COVID hit and it shut that whole thing down. And it was like devastating actually, because I'm like, my one chance, it felt like, was completely squandered.
Man,
Um,
that's crazy. I can imagine because for artists, I know most artists, you make your money on the road. Like you can get your mailbox money with your production and your licenses and stuff like that and your properties. But when you're on the road, it's nothing like you get the feel of the crowd, you get the energy from them. You know, people are rocking with certain songs and you can kind of
right.
gear towards where you're gonna go, and you can't do any of that. So did you turn to social at all, with doing anything online with the record?
Well, my idea was just I'm just going to attack the internet then, because it's like we're all locked down. So, and I've always, believed in making like really high quality, visual content,
Right.
because it seems like it's the best way to present it to the audience. It feels like, when you're on the social media to get people over to Spotify, especially being like a relative unknown.
Yeah.
And eventually, it starts off with just like your friends and family, like, like, hey, you just released a new thing.
Right.
And then I was just like, I'm just going to attack the internet then.
Mm-hmm. Now that's hard. And then I saw that your Spotify numbers are crazy. You in the hundreds of thousands of streams, and this is before the
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
during the pandemic, it skyrockets even harder.
Mm-hmm.
Right, man. So that's dope. Right now, we're Andrew Thomas. We're talking about his journey, and now you've got this new single. Is this a story? Is there a story behind this? Because the liquor talking sounds like a weekend that Bevy probably had a couple of weeks ago. So is this a story behind this, or you were just in your creative flow and this thing came about?
It's a little bit of both. I think it's something we can all relate to. I've been on both the giving and receiving end on things like that.
Yeah, sounds like a text message story behind it.
Oh yeah, you got that line in there. It's like I always call you when I'm drunk, but
Right,
it doesn't mean that I'm in love with you.
right.
It's like when you get home, you're like, what you up to?
What have I done?
Yeah. You look at your phone the next day, like, oh God. Oh God.
Hey,
But sometimes it works out for the better,
yeah,
sometimes, you get that liquid courage in you and you end up talking to that girl, or, you end up, it works out for you. Like, oh, well, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have been too shy. I'm a naturally shy person. So,
there we go, man. Let me get it right into our speed questions. That was actually going to be the fifth question, but since you said it, let's go ahead and ask that first. So, what is go-to drink of choice when you need that liquid courage?
I'm a big Jack and Diet kind of guy.
Okay. All right. All right. So you watching your calories, but at the same time, you're gonna party.
Yeah. I drink a lot of soda, like a stupid amount of soda. And I feel like, if I didn't drink diet soda, I'd probably have like diabetes or something.
Well, at least you're self-conscious. I like it, man. Let's go ahead and get into these fast five. These are the five questions, and then we definitely have to get into your single, Liquor Talking, right here with Andrew Thomas. So, question number one: what is one thing everybody should know about Andrew Thomas? What is one thing?
That's a good one. I just want them to know that like I love music. It's like my life. I feel like I was born to do it. I've done it since I was like 8 years old.
Mm,
Um, and I want the world to know that I want the world to be I want to leave it better than when I found it.
I like that. That's a stamp right there. That's knock it out the ballpark for question number one. And a sub part of that. Are all your cars blue?
Yes.
Why?
Everything blue always. I even like most of my clothes are blue too. I don't know.
You
I
know,
find something I like and I just stick with it.
right. So I saw one. I was like, that's the exact color I wanted to do on one of my cars, one of my challenges. I
Yeah.
wanted that color, but I couldn't get that color. Now you've inspired me to go to the shop.
Yeah, you got to get a wrap.
Right,
Wrap's the way
exactly.
to do it.
Exactly. That's what exactly we're gonna do, man. Shout out to my guy over Triple K Customs. All right, man. The most common misconception about Native American culture.
Ooh, that's a tough one. That it doesn't exist almost. I feel like There's a very strong culture, and it's very diverse too.
Mm, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. All right. Number three, if you could collab with any two artists, who would they be? Either you
Oh
can be on
God.
the song with them or you can produce and be part of the artistry. Any two artists.
God, there's so many good ones. I
Mm,
guess one would probably be Justin Bieber. Just he's a goat. Um, I
I-
almost want to say Bruno Mars. Uh, that's
Okay.
a
So
tough one.
you just trying to go platinum.
Yeah, I want hits, baby. I want the hits. Plus, I really like this Olivia Rodrigo too. I think she's absolutely incredible.
You know what? We just gonna make it for artists. That's perfect right there. You and those three, I feel like that song would do so many numbers, it would be ridiculous. And then
Yeah,
in 30 years, you'll have a Vegas residency just off of that song alone.
yeah. And I would love to do another one with Snoop Dogg.
Okay, yeah, we'll add them in too. Why not on a remix? Perfect.
Right, there you go.
Number four, we know you're all around the country. What is the dopest city for you to perform in or for you to play behind? Because I know you play with artists too.
Mm, that's a tough one.
Give me two cities that stand out because of the energy or because just might like the restaurants.
Oh well, if you talk about the restaurants, I mean Baton Rouge
Okay.
or New Orleans. I mean the food there.
It's
Just,
amazing.
oh, it's just crazy. I
You
mean,
and the mothers, oh my God, they got this chicken plate and it says it on the menu. It says 25-minute wait if you order this chicken. It's crazy.
well, it's probably worth every second.
It is.
I'll have to stop down there. Is that in Baton Rouge?
That is it's actually in New Orleans. It's not too
Oh, New Orleans. Okay. Next time I'm there, I'll have to stop in.
there you go. Baton Rouge got some good food too.
Oh, geez, it's tough. Yeah, I really like it here
Mm,
in Minnesota. I love Minnesota.
that's what's up.
Um,
Show Town. And you got a show coming up too, September.
I have a headline show here at First Avenue. Yep.
Jeez, let me hit the hype button for you headlining a show in your hometown. That's gotta be amazing.
Yeah. The reception on that's been great. And
Mm,
then I'm also going to be touring with Echo. We got 20 cities.
wow. Yeah, I saw that on your IG. Y'all better
Mhm.
tap in with this man. You want to get on the road, DJ, videographer, hit him up right now. This is your opportunity to shine.
Definitely hit my IG. I am Andrew Thomas. If you're trying to come along.
There we go. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into this single right now. First and foremost, we appreciate you coming on the show and chopping it up with us, man. We had a great time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. I would love for you to introduce this single right here for Reec Radio. Let's go ahead and get it popping, and we're going to play it for the masses right now.
All right. Well, this is Andrew Thomas.